Memphis is the home of the blues, rock and roll, and Earle Farrell.
From the Collierville Square to the mighty Mississippi, the Earle Farrell for Memphis show is all about good things that happen across the Bluff City and the people who make Memphis cool.
The Earle Farrell for Memphis show is made possible by our title sponsor, Southern Security Federal Credit Union, and by Kathy Thurman Edwards, State Farm Insurance.
By Dive Shop and Diventures nationwide. Jim Karras Chevrolet with George Gully. Napa Cafe Memphis and Glenda Hastings. Phoenix Unequaled Home Entertainment. For Memphis Magazine. The Live at the Garden Concert Series. And the Orpheum Theater Group Memphis. And by Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Family owned and operated for more than 40 years. Thank you to all the sponsors for making this possible.
And now, coming to you from Lansky Brothers, Clothier to the King, inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel with the heart of a cowboy and Memphis in his soul. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Earle Farrell.
Thank you very much, and welcome to Lansky's on a fine summer day. Actually, the weather's pretty good here in Memphis right now, and we're all enjoying that. My two guests today live here, but they're doing work in other places that is really pretty fascinating. With us is Piet Strydom and Glenn Floyd, and they're with a mission, really, the Liquid Legacy. It's not a foundation; it's a mission that you guys started. And Glenn, you were the one kind of involved with it first, and then you got Piet involved with it, but it started with actually Dr. Shea, the Shea Clinic years ago.
Yes, this goes back a long way. Piet actually drug me along more so than I drug him along. But yes, Coyle Shea was involved in the same area that we go, Pucallpa, Peru. It's at the headwaters of the Amazon jungle. It's in what they call the upper delta. And the Pucallpa is right on the Ucayali River, so it's a major river port. And so a lot of people, to get to the Amazon, you have to go through Pucallpa. So we started going in some time ago, but Coyle Shea went in before we did, back in the 1980s.
Wow.
He was invited by a pastor to go, and I think he was a little reluctant, and then he finally, the pastor said, "Hey, I'm buying you a ticket and we're going." And he went down there and he found his life's mission. And so he would go down and do ear, nose, and throat surgeries on the indigenous people of the Amazon jungle.
And then the idea for water, which is people in Memphis, especially I think people in Memphis, we have such great water here with the aquifer. And in fact, you used to win awards every year for having the best water, really in the world. And that in other parts of the world, water is a real issue. And certainly we saw it in Maui, what happened there with the water issues, and in other places as well. But it's not so much the amount of water. There's the Amazon River, they got a lot of water. But drinkable water that won't kill you is the issue, and that's where you guys figured out a way of providing that.
Yeah, we going down there, we discovered that the initial invite was to come and help with clean water, and we went down there, did some site evaluations, water testings. Glenn dragged me into a whole bunch of training for that, and we discovered that majority of the water that they consume there is contaminated with bacteria, viruses, and for them, they learn to live with parasites. You have a lot of anemia among the kids, and it's all because of the parasites that they get from the water.
I know I saw an episode of Meat Eater, which is one of my favorite shows,
Yes.
and he was down in the Amazon, did 2 or 3 shows down there, and it really is primitive. I mean, when you get on the river, you think, well, because it's the Amazon, it's like the Mississippi.
No.
I mean, this is like you're back there, you're eating what's available, and you're boiling your water, and they use filtration systems as well. Is this a filtration system you guys come up with? Is it a process like desalinization?
It is a filtration system. It produces about 300 gallons an hour.
Wow.
It runs through 3 filters, and depending upon the quality of the water and the total dissolved solids, you can use either UV light to sanitize it even a little further, or you can use ozone. Down in our area, we find that UV light handles, all of them so far that we've tested.
You were saying right before we went on that it kind of works like condensation with our air conditioners here in Memphis. We've got those drip pans. The kind that it's supposed to drip in, not through your ceiling, We've all had that problem. But then that actually purifies the water, but then is it filtered further from that process?
Well, we actually have a couple of different systems. The one you're referring to is in the Abaco, which is in the Bahamas. We have some air generation.
Atmospheric water generators.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
AWGs.
Yeah. And those actually pull it from the atmosphere, but that's in Abaco. They produce just like 4 gallons a day kind of thing. It's pretty slow. But the system that we use down in Peru, and we can use it in Abaco also eventually, it does about 300 gallons an hour.
A friend of mine here in Memphis is involved in a water filtration system, and I think they're even using them to Bellevue Baptist and donating these are about $70 a unit. But it does like a small bucket, and it's a hand pump, not near as efficient as what you guys are talking about when you talk about hundreds of gallons an hour. So it is going that way, that there are people that are coming up with better ways of filtration. I know even here with Elon Musk talking about the water that he needs for his XAI, but they're coming up with ways of taking even the Mississippi River and filtrating that and making it sufficiently sophisticated enough to use to cool down all their chips.
Yeah, and we found, the large community systems that Glenn's talking about, they work great in an area where we have a large community and we've got some leadership in place where they can take care of the system, and it provides enough safe drinking water for the entire community.
Wow.
But we do have a 2-water bucket system. It's a gravity-fed system that we use as well, and that we usually take into the more rural areas. So when we go deep into the jungle where there's no electricity, there's nothing, and they're literally scooping water out of what looks like the Mississippi River. These 2-bucket filter systems will just gravity feed through that filter, and it's safe to drink to the point where we had a fundraiser at Glenn's house last year, and I literally went down to the Mississippi River right here downtown, scooped the water from there, ran it through the filter and tested it, and it was safe to drink. I'm still alive. So.
I say the same thing about I water skied in the Mississippi River. When I first moved here, I had no idea what was in that river.
Yeah.
Have not been back in it,
No.
though. We've got some slides here. Let's show these. This is a group of folks that you went down there with you. Tell us who these people are.
Yeah, this is a great group. This was a first partnership team with the University of Memphis, and so this group of students signed up through the University of Memphis to do an alternative break trip. So instead of going out spring break and partying, they came out with us to do service work.
Fantastic.
And they came to Abaco, and we helped. This was 5 months after the storm, so we helped with relief work there.
We got another one here. Now this is you. Pipe fitting.
Now there's a scary thought, and in my flip-flops too. So, one of the projects we work on in Peru is, along with health, sanitation, the safe drinking water, the medical, most of these folks have never had a real bathroom. And so we've got a Peruvian couple that have developed what they call an eco bathroom, where they can have a real bathroom with a shower, sink to wash their hands, and the waste actually gets converted into compost that they can use in the gardens and in their farms. So that's some of what we were putting in there.
Do y'all drill wells at all, or is that not something?
No,
you're taking existing water sources and filtrating those?
Yeah, there's water everywhere in Peru. But it's contaminated. Matter of fact, when we go on medical trips, about 80% of the illnesses that we see are waterborne.
Yeah.
So if you can just get clean water, you knock out 80% of the illnesses in the villages.
I've been to El Salvador and Honduras with the Air Guard medical teams going into remote areas doing a lot of the same things you guys are doing. And it was amazing to me is that, the resources, once you get outside the major cities, they just don't exist.
Yeah, right.
And that's all the way from Mexico all the way down through South America.
Right. One of the beauties of the system that we install is its simplicity. It's just filtration. You can actually devise it so that it can be gravity fed mostly. But a lot of systems are complicated, and that's fine until something breaks.
Yeah.
And then who's going to repair it? One of the things we do when we install is we have 2 or 3 of the local people that are going to be
Learn how to operate it.
Yeah, they're going to be operating the system when we leave. They come and help us put them together. So, but all the all the elements that I need to put a system together, I can buy locally.
Wow, there in Peru.
I can buy it there.
Wow.
And so that's one of the beauties of the system is it can be repaired. The people know how to operate it. And so we don't have to come down there and fix things.
And over the years, you're adding more and more all the time. So eventually,
Yes,
hopefully can turn the whole thing around.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the pictures again. This is one of you, Glenn. What are you doing there?
Oh,
What are you doing there, Glenn?
I'm not sure which system that is. I think I know which one it is. We had installed the system. That's what you're seeing there. That's the filters. The small little filter that's near at the bottom. That's a 50 micron filter, and then you come up from that. Then you go to a 5 micron, and then eventually a 1 micron. And I don't think you can see the UV from here. But anyway, I was checking their reporting because when we train the operators how to use the system, they have to keep data for us. And that's what that ledger is I'm looking at. So when I show up there to inspect what they've been doing the last few months, the first place I go is that ledger.
Here's another one. Is this one of the people that you have working with you down there?
Yeah, that's Bailey's.
Yeah.
Bailey's is he's actually a pastor on the outskirts of Pucallpa now, but we met him. He came through the Bible Institute that we partner with down there, and he's a Shipibo Indian. So he grew up his whole life in a very remote village as a Shipibo Indian, learned Spanish, came to Bible Institute, pastors a church, and then he's also one of our main guys overseeing a lot of our water systems today.
Which is one of the reasons you're down there is spread Christianity as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And in fact, how do they receive that in Peru?
Very openly. It's an interesting place where we are in the jungle. There's a long heritage of Catholic missionaries that started out there, and a lot of missionaries that have been to those areas. I'd say as a whole, they're very receptive, very open to the gospel, and we've been fortunate to partner with the Indigenous Church Association. And so there's hundreds of churches that are small churches in these indigenous villages, and a lot of what we do is we're able to strengthen them, kind of bring some credibility and resources to them so that they can reach their own people better.
And there we have another shot of you. Is that bottled water that you've got there? Is that what you do with it after you go through the filtration? You fill up these big...
Yeah, they go into these 5-gallon bottles. They get sealed, so they stay sanitized, and then they'll distribute from there. And the way we one of the cool things we do to kind of make it self-sufficient, the end game here is for us to be able to hand it over to the locals to where they own it, they run it, they can maintain it. And one of the ways they do that is they... take the health and hygiene classes we give them, and they train others. And then if you come to their training, you can buy the water at a reduced rate, making it very affordable for anybody in the community in those 5-gallon buckets.
When you guys, before you go down there, I know that they gave us all kinds of inoculations, and we were taking the stuff you couldn't get during COVID. But they were given to all of us as we went down there, and nobody ever got sick.
Yeah.
But do you all do precautionary inoculations before you go to Peru?
I did the first time I went,
Yeah.
and I did everything they said to do. And then I got down there and I said, we're okay.
We're fortunate in that, things like malaria and yellow fever that usually would be in those kind of regions, they haven't had any cases of that in a long time.
Good.
So other than making sure you're up on your regular shots, there's not really anything we're too concerned about there.
And what's the food like there? I mean, because you're in the jungle and you're with so you're eating what they're eating, right?
It's delicious.
Really?
It really is.
Some of the best fish ever.
Yes.
They eat a lot of chicken, a lot of fish.
Yeah.
I think if you stayed in a remote village, you might be exposed to a little more, strange foods. They'll eat a monkey and those kind of things. But there's nothing wrong with eating some gator. The gator is good, and then for the most part, it's a lot of chicken and fish and vegetables.
Well, actually, monkeys are considered a very delicacy. And it's just if you watch one get cooked, it's
not ready.
It's not delicate.
No. Let's see, back to here's is this where people come in and actually tap into the pipe itself and fill up their buckets, or did everything go through your system before it goes to the public?
Yeah, the way they work this, and so if somebody comes to us and different groups do different things, but whatever container they bring, it has to be washed out, because if you don't clean the container and you put clean water in it, then you got dirty water.
Yeah.
It's contaminated. So first thing we do is we sanitize whatever device they bring for them to clean water in. That's where they can do that, is right there, and then wash them out. And then probably on the end is the fill cap, and it's kind of a high flow type thing at the end that they can fill it up just in a
But this is all
few
gravity
seconds.
fed?
That is, I mean, we can start the pump, but we don't have to.
Yeah,
That particular
if it
one
works,
is
it
3
works.
stories tall, so that's a lot of pressure.
Well, and not only that, you go anywhere south of the United States, and nobody's in that big a hurry anyway.
No.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just like, how long does it take? I'm good. I'll sit over here on the bench and I'll
Truth.
relax.
Almost everybody we see has, I hate to call it city water because it's not like we think of city water. It's city water, but it's very contaminated.
Yeah.
And the way it gets contaminated is their systems are broken, the pipes are broken. So
Sure.
when it's under pressure, it's going out into the dirt that's
And
around
then
the pipe.
if the pressure decreases, it
The
goes
power
back
goes
into the
out
pipe.
2 or 3 times a day. The
Yeah.
yuck runs back into the pipe. Now you
Yeah.
can contaminate the pipe. So that's what we're cleaning out of there.
When you spend some time there and you look at what's going on there, and I've, as I said, been down to Central America and Mexico, and it really does give you an appreciation of what this country is all about. I think there's so many people in this country never travel, and if they do, it's to Rome and Paris and London.
Yes.
But have no idea what's really like, and the resources that just aren't available, readily available, as they are in this country. It's,
Absolutely.
It is. I mean, every time I go to, which I always like camping out because that makes you really appreciate just a bathroom and air conditioners. But when you go there, that's their life all the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Every time I come back to the States, I'm thankful
Yeah.
for where I was happened to be born.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we have it so good, and we just don't realize it.
Yeah.
And we're so generous. Look what you guys
Yeah.
are doing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the
Absolutely.
most generous countries in the world.
Right.
This is shot in Bahamas, and who are these folks?
Yeah, and you know, you speak about resources. We think about the Bahamas, and people travel there for vacation, and you're on a resort or you're in a pretty area on a beautiful beach, and you don't realize the lack of resources around you. This is actually a group of students from Rossville Christian Academy, and they come out with us every year. They bring juniors and seniors on a service trip that they can sign up for. And we were involved in community development there. So this was a beach cleanup day. 6 years after the storm, we're still picking up shingles and debris and things
Wow.
on the beaches there. And so that's a huge part of what we do is just coming alongside the local community there.
And was these other kids on spring break, but instead of going to the beach, they went
Yeah.
to the beach to
Yeah.
work.
To work, yeah.
Yeah.
But-
And just to give your listeners a little background about Abaco, Bahamas, Hurricane Dorian came through,
September 1st, 2019. So we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary.
and it sat
6-year
on
anniversary.
them for 3 days. There was a front came from the north, and it just stalled over the top of the island. The wind meter broke at 187 miles an hour.
Wow.
They said the National Weather Service said if there was a Category 6, and they're thinking about making another category, this would have been it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's lots of stories when you go down there and you meet the locals and you talk to them and you feel like, you know, it's a comfortable space for them to talk. Just ask them about the hurricane. Everybody has PTSD from it.
Yeah.
They're just traumatized, and friends and family, and they're watching their loved ones die in front of them and are getting blown away, and you never see them again. I mean, it's really traumatizing there, and it really destroyed the island. But it's the people there are so grateful. Not only for these things, but when we go down and just being tourists there, the people there have a kindness to them
Yeah.
that you don't see in a lot of places.
Well, I mean, we lived in Mexico for 2 years growing up when I was 5 and 6, so in the 50s. Hard to believe. But that's what I remember is how genuinely kind and glad to have us there. And it was evidenced everywhere we went. I mean, at the market, you obviously spotted as Americans, and they were just, they made you feel like you were family, invited you to their homes for dinner parties and just things. And the same thing I got in Honduras and El Salvador. I mean, they may be at war with each other, and they may be fighting the United States, but you get there if you're not, being aggressive. They're just like, what can I do to make your stay here better? You've got a fundraiser that's coming up to help you guys do what you do.
Yeah.
The Liquid Legacy Clay Classic, which is sporting clays, which are clay discs that these automatic machines throw them out. My son and I got to go last year.
Yeah.
And it is so cool. It's right down on Mahalia Road at, what's the name of the place again?
Mallard
Mallard
Cross.
Cross, Sports
Mallard
Clays,
Cross.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's like a golf course, except so you get all these guys in camouflage, getting on golf carts with shotguns. In fact, I've got a picture of some shooting.
Yeah.
And there are 18 different poles or shooting stands.
Shooting
so
stands.
it's like a golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except you stop at each one, everybody gets, 3 shots?
Well, it depends upon the stand. It can be anywhere from 10 to 20, depends upon what it is.
Well, all I know is I was exhausted and my arm was killing me by the time it was over.
Yeah, go to a 20 gauge.
Yeah. And my dad would not go for that. Come on, Earl, you can do better than that. But it's coming up here on the 28th, and it'll. How do they get in touch with somebody to get their team in?
Yeah, they can sign up. They can just go to our website, theliquidlegacy.org, and right there they can sign up to volunteer. They can sign up to become a sponsor or sign up to shoot in one of the teams. You can sign up as a team or as an individual, and it'll be a fun afternoon that Sunday afternoon, and then we'll have a fun time that evening around some food and drink and get to share some of what we do and hopefully raise some funds to keep doing it.
In fact, Glenn, you were saying you have some really high-end door prizes that you're going to raffle off.
Yes.
And so you'll buy little tickets and you get to put it into the pot. And
raffle and auction is what we're
which
looking
is
at
what I
right
do
now.
when I go to golf tournaments. I go and see if I can get the door prize because I ain't getting nothing else. But this gives you a shot to get the door prize.
Yeah.
I think last year I hit 4 clays out of all of it. It's not easy. I mean, they're coming at you from different directions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah. We actually lessened the pressure on yours, so you did hit 4, so that's an improvement over the year before that. So that's good.
Well, I need help. Did we get the red dot going? Maybe that would help me. But that's coming up December 28th. And if you want to know more about Liquid Legacy, where can they go to find that? Is there a website?
Yeah,
Facebook?
same thing, theliquidlegacy.org, or we've a Facebook page and an Instagram page, The Liquid Legacy Project, and find us on there, follow us, and especially if we have teams on the ground going into Peru or Abaco, we post daily on those teams. You can go back and see kind of what we've done.
And you were mentioning about Abaco is that it's the Bahamas, but it's not like going to Eleuthera or Grand. These are the outlying islands that really have no infrastructure to speak of. That means they don't have water. They don't have, in many cases, electricity unless they have generators.
Yeah. Abaco is the working man's island. It's 130 miles long. Probably averages 5 miles wide, something like that.
Yeah, maybe it's widest spot.
But there's nearby, anywhere from 5 to 9 miles away, there's a series of keys. And that's where the tourists go and that type of thing. It's really nice islands. Each island has its own little vibe and that type thing that you can go to. And it's some of the safest boating in the world because you can go in what's called the Abaco Sea. And it's the second or third largest reef in the world.
Third largest, yeah.
Never knew that. And so it's really a safe place. Scuba diving's wonderful there. The average depth's like 33 feet.
Wow.
So you can really dive on some nice stuff there.
In fact, Randy Wright, who's coming on right after you, taught your daughters. You were getting ready to go on a cruise recently, and they gave them some advanced instruction before they got to where they were going on the cruise.
Yes.
Which is, scuba diving to me is one of the most incredible things. We're all around the ocean all the time. And then we always look at it, we fish out of it, we boat on it, but until you go under, you have no idea that whole world exists.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be talking about it coming up next. Thank both of you guys for coming in and sharing what y'all are doing, and thank you for your work. It's amazing, and I can't wait to stay up with you and find out what's next. And we'll mention again before the event on September 28th about that's going on. But I'll see y'all there.
Well, thank you, Earl. Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all. We're going to check in with our sponsors right now that make all this possible, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dawn Grader, President and CEO of Southern Security Federal Credit Union. We're the proud title sponsor of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show. Coming to you live from Lansky's in the world-famous Peabody Hotel and celebrating all of the great things about our great city, Memphis, Tennessee.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm so proud to be part of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show, streaming live from Lansky's from the Peabody. We will be showcasing not only Napa Cafe, but some great restaurants around town. We look forward to seeing you.
Hello, Memphis Mid-South. And first, I'd like to thank you for visiting with Earle Farrell Memphis today, and we want to support him just like you do. I'm George Gully, one of the sales managers at Jim Carey Chevrolet. We've been in business here in Memphis for over 75 years. I've been associated with the company for almost 25, and I'll help you find the right car, truck, or SUV here at not only our Chevy store, but also Buick, GMC, Nissan, Subaru, we can help you find that right car. Keep watching, Earl, and come see me. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Kathy Thurman Edwards State Farm, and I'm so excited to be one of the sponsors for the Earle Farrell from Memphis show, broadcasting live from Lansky's at the Peabody. And I'll tell you all about what we've got going on at our office. Gift cards for quotes. No purchase necessary. I'm better looking than a lizard.
Hi, this is Randy Wright from the Dive Shop and Diventures in Memphis. We've been in Memphis over 64 years teaching people to dive, snorkel, and swim. We'd love to have you come join us and have some fun. We're also a part of the Dive Ventures group with 18 locations across the country, stretched from Phoenix to Vienna, Virginia. Please give us a call. We'll be able to take care of you at 999 South Yates in Memphis, or call us at 901-763-DIVE.
Hi, I'm Brett Batterson, President and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group in downtown Memphis. We are so pleased with our partnership with the Earle Farrell Show and very happy that he is broadcasting live from Lansky's at the historic Peabody Hotel. We're all here to make Memphis better.
Hi, my name is Jameson Todd, and I'm the director of Live at the Garden and the Radiance Amphitheater. And we're so excited for our 25th year of Live at the Garden here at the Memphis Botanic Garden. We've got a great lineup for you this season, so come on out.
Hi, I'm Olivia Wall, Director of Marketing and Communications for Memphis Botanic Garden and Live at the Garden. We've had Earle Farrell right along the way for the past 25 years, and we can't wait to talk more about the season this summer on the Earle Farrell for Memphis show.
So come out to Live at the Garden. Our first show's on June 21st.
Hi, I'm Mitch Wright.
And I'm his son, Mickey.
And we're the owners of Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And proud sponsors of the Earle Farrell from Memphis show.
We're thankful to be part of the Memphis community. We've been in business for 42 years, taking care of people and loving the people of the Mid-South.
Hey, my name is Jake. I'm with Phoenix Unequaled Home Entertainment. I just wanted to introduce myself and kind of what I do here at Phoenix. I'm a sales engineer. A lot of the times we talk about home theaters, but there's so much more that we offer. We offer a lot of home security solutions, as well as water detection and everything. So if you guys ever need anything, give us a call. We'll get you guys fixed up.
And welcome back. Joining me now here in the studio at Lansky's is Randy Wright with the Dive Shop and Dive Ventures. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, man. What a great day.
Yeah, this is the kind of weather we've been waiting for since last. In fact, I heard on the weather this morning, it hasn't been this cool since early May.
Yeah, it's super nice outside.
And we got some more this weekend. I think we got a chance for rain tomorrow, but they said that'll cool it off. It was 59 degrees this morning.
Isn't that wonderful? Go outside and sit down and have a cup of coffee. Just fantastic.
I mean, it takes this whole, the oppression from that heat that we've been having. It just takes it all away. It makes life livable.
It makes it nice.
Yes. Your school at Ole Miss, and a lot of people don't know this, but for the last 41 years, the Dive Shop has had the instructions down there at Ole Miss where it's actually a curriculum.
Yeah, we have a full, it's actually a career curriculum if you go that far. I mean, most of the kids that are taking it just for fun. They want to do something while they're there besides follow their regular studies. But we have had several individuals that have gotten to us as freshmen and maybe sophomores and become instructors and gone on to work in the industry. Drew Johnston out of Itabena, Mississippi years ago came to us, wound up working there at Ole Miss for us for several years as an instructor, and is now the basically the operations manager for one of the largest liveaboard fleets on the planet.
Wow.
And so he's oversees the crews and the mechanics on about 30 boats around the world, and that's what he's done with his little time down there.
And the thing about it is most kids that go to Ole Miss, the last thing they're thinking about majoring in is, scuba.
Sure.
And that they could actually teach it. But one thing I always notice about pictures taken of scuba divers, either on board before they go under or just out, is how happy everybody is. I got a shot here. And look at these are a couple of ladies that are either just got finished with the dive.
Smiling.
And then when you get in the water, it is just every time you get chill bumps, thinking, okay, we're getting ready to go on an adventure again. I mean, it's not like getting in a boat and going across the lake.
Man, it starts weeks before the trip. What happens, people call me up and they say, well, I'm packing. I need to make sure, do I have a such and such? Is there anything that I left up at the store? I mean, people get into this mode 2-3 weeks before they leave on vacation. they'll call me up on the telephone. Well, we got 28 days and 12 hours left.
Not that I'm counting.
Is there anything else that I need to know about the trips? And no, we'll take good care of you. Just show up at the airport.
Well, that is the advantage of doing things with Dive Ventures and the Dive Shop. You've been to all these places. You go with your people, and so you're escorted. You guys troubleshoot for them. Anything that goes wrong, you fix it. Same thing with the dives. I mean, you go under, and everybody's together.
It's 24/7 coverage. We've got people on up in Omaha who are sitting by the phone if anything goes wrong with your transportation or anything else, and then we have professionals on resort with you to make sure that you have the best experience you can possibly have.
And it really is. It's the total experience, because not only are you scuba diving, you're going to these places and you're on the ground. You're going out to dinner. You're going to see sightseeing, and so it's really about like going on a vacation that you've rolled around scuba.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the primary focus is the diving, but you got to get into the culture wherever you're going, find out about what the people eat, what they're doing. I mean, very interesting to hear about the outback in some of these countries that we don't usually get to see.
Yeah,
now, in Fiji and that kind of places, we've been out in some of the small villages and that kind of stuff. And, one of the things that was mentioned, that you actually mentioned, is how cordial people are and how social they are, and they want to know what you are and where you came from and what you do and how many kids you have, and they want to know about your life, and they're just sharing information. It's not like being on social media or something where you're trying to put out there that you've got some type of charisma or whatever. They're just chatting with you.
And they're the same with everybody.
Yeah.
They don't care if you're rich or you're poor. They just want to know about you.
Sure.
It's and what do people do when you say, okay, because most of the people that go on your tours, although not exclusively, they're from Memphis, but they're from all over the country because Dive Ventures is all over the country.
Sure.
But when you say we're from Memphis, the majority of us, what is the reaction all over the world to being from Memphis? Really?
That's the very first thing they say. I mean, the minute that you mention Memphis, Tennessee, or they'll say, where are you from? You go, Memphis, and they'll give you that little puppy dog head shake, and you go, Elvis, and they, oh, yeah. They know exactly what that is. So, I mean, here we are at Lansky's talking about Elvis, but it is something that centers the person's understanding of where you're from immediately.
And I think it's a good thing. I mean, so many people in Memphis, we just had Elvis Week here, and they have never been out to Graceland and lived here all their lives. And I said, you at least ought to go, because it is an incredible story, and it's all true, and it really happened right here in Memphis, and the world knows about it, and they keep coming.
Well, they're doing a series on NPR right now about the birth of rock and roll and rockabilly and all that kind of stuff, and they're interviewing people like Sam Phillips and who else is on there? Carl Perkins and Johnny
Cash, Roy Orbison,
and it's
Jerry
all
Lee
this
Lewis.
series of old interviews with these people back from the late,
50s and
around
early
2000s is when these interviews were done. And it's absolutely fantastic.
Well, the course down at Ole Miss, if you're there, do you also teach people like that just want to audit the class that live in the area or could drive down there?
Well, you actually have to be enrolled at the university or on staff there.
Okay.
So anybody that's permitted to enroll in a university class, they are regular activity classes. We're kind of based in the kinesiology department, but we're at kinesiology, movement studies of athletic movement.
I've been studying movements my whole life.
Haven't you?
Yeah.
I've seen you do that occasionally. Twist your head off, nearly wreck your car, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm always looking. Got my head on a swivel.
But it's we start with the entry-level scuba diving, and then it goes from there into the advanced level. We go into stress and rescue, master diver, which is kind of a more intense study of the physics and physiology, and then eventually dive master and on up to instructor.
And the thing about it is they may start off just wanting to learn how to scuba dive, but I've experienced in just meeting people at your store, once they get into it, it's like anything else. It's like golf or tennis or anything. You start off one trip, and now I'm going on 3 trips a year.
Well, I mean, it's pretty interesting. We've got a young man down there, Dan Shell III. Dan Shell Sr. is Doug McNeese's best friend, goes back to the various earliest days of the dive shop. Dan Shell Jr. is now a physician, a plastic surgeon like his dad down in Oxford, Mississippi, and his son, Dan Shell III, is now in 442 working on his instructor ticket with us there at Ole Miss. So he wants something to do during his off year between getting his master's in business administration and going to medical school. So he's going to spend some time out diving and teaching people to dive.
Well, and it's not just diving, it's also exploring. I was listening to somebody talk. It was a guy that had been on a boat. It was Jimmy Buffett. That's who it was, Jimmy Buffett. And they were going down the Caribbean in his boat, lost steering on the boat, and so they had to take it into some island in the middle of nowhere. And he said, and it was like they were just saying a minute ago, Glenn, that some of the islands in the Bahamas are barely inhabitable. And
sure,
it's not all like pulling up to a resort, and there's everything in the world you could ask for. And he said we had about 2 or 3 days there that there was nothing to do.
Yeah.
And but he said we scuba, and if you scuba wherever you go, there's something to do.
There is something to do. You can get underwater and see some wonderful things. I was just reading about a city off the coast of Italy that predates Roman times. Was a huge Roman area, and this is now flooded, and you can go in and see the buildings and all that kind of stuff from those days. And then you've got the whole rest of the country of Italy that you can tour directly adjacent to this dive site. So there's a lot to do with diving and travel.
What are some of the trips coming up that people can get
let's see what
with?
we've got coming up. We've got in early January, we've got going to Cozumel, which is always a perennial favorite. Great diving, great food, great experience. Then going on through the course of next year, I've got Fiji, we've got the Maldives. We're going to Komodo in Indonesia, where the Komodo dragons are, some of the finest diving on the planet. So we have a host of things to do, anywhere from Caribbean-style stuff to getting out in the Pacific and doing some really wild diving.
Well, and there's also this time of year, I mean, it may only be the end of August, but Christmas is coming. And what a great gift. Just like Glenn Floyd was here. His daughter took a lesson last year. He's got 2 others. He said, I'm going to book to come get lessons now, because that is a gift that they could use for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely. It's something that you can start as young as 10 or 12 and do it for all of your life. I've had people come in in their early 60s and start diving and actually become instructors.
Wow.
And go on to teach diving.
Well, it does keep you moving. I mean, that's what I tell everybody. I'll be 75 in November, and you just got to keep moving. And scuba diving is great because it's low impact. You're buoyant. In fact, you got to weight yourself down to get to go under. And so you can do everything you can as a young person. In fact, I talk to my friends all the time. The first thing they ask is, how far do I have to walk?
Yeah, well,
you don't have to walk
to the edge of the boat. That's as far as you
until you hit the water. That's how far you walk. But of course, the store, you do also swimming lessons and snorkeling lessons. If you're going on a cruise or something, you want the kids to find out how to properly snorkel and buy the right equipment.
Sure, we have everything that you need for those things, but we focus on just introducing people to the water and making sure that they're safe and comfortable. Swimming is a life skill that everybody should have. You don't have to look very far to find out that there's a lot of people, particularly in this area, that don't know how to swim. So we're serving that community. Then snorkeling and scuba, which we've made our livelihood for now, will be 65 years this February.
Wow. And you've got everything else too, bathing suits year-round.
Sure.
And all the things you would need anywhere around water. Plus a lot of really cool gadgets. Scuba diving is just full of gadgets.
It is. You got to have your cameras and your lights and all those kinds of things to enjoy.
Absolutely. Give a phone number and where you're located.
Yeah, give us a call at 901-763-DIVE. That's 763-3483. Or come by and see us at 999 South Yates, just off Poplar.
Scuba.
Yeah.
Do you scuba?
Absolutely.
Randy Wright with the Dive Shop. Thanks, sir.
Thanks a lot, Earl. Really appreciate it.
You bet. That's our show for today. Thanks for tuning in. You'll be able to see this show on Facebook, also on YouTube and Spotify. So thanks for watching.